listening to Gwatney Unplugged on Newsradio 102.9 KARN with Scott Romine, brought to you by Gwatney Automotive Group.
Hey, Scott Romine here. Just honored to have Shawn Maves back on Gwatney Unplugged. This guy knows bodybuilding and fitness and dieting inside and out, front and back. And I want to ask you about one of the biggest, the biggest thing, and I hear friends of mine talking about this and whatever, and it's fasting. Not eating for certain periods of time, or not eating at certain periods of the day. This is kind of all new to me. I don't remember back when I was really into the working out of people not eating. Is this effective, or is it healthy or not healthy? What do you think there, Shawn?
Yeah, no, everybody by now has heard of some celebrity who's doing some kind of fasting. You got Chris Pratt, Jennifer Aniston, Ben Affleck, and all these different celebrities are all of a sudden putting fasting back on the map. I wrote a little bit in a book by Philip Renner out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. His book's coming out next year called Fasting, A Change of Mindset. And so I know a little bit about the subject. You know, the first thing when people think of fasting, it's too hard, it's going to make you miserable. But what I try to tell people is this: the positives absolutely outweigh the negatives, both physically and spiritually. Fasting helps with reducing type 2 diabetes. I remember on my first interview, Scott, I was scared to death. I drove down to WDCX Studios in Buffalo, like 2 hours south of Toronto. And I was scared to death my first interview, and I actually fasted and prayed the night before, and I went into that studio with such peace. So, I mean, Christians know what I'm talking about. It really does something from the inside out.
Yeah, and fasting, I think, is mentioned in the Bible, correct?
Yeah, there's a number of references to a biblical fasting. I want to mention the name. Chris Pratt's actually doing this Daniel fast. Have you heard of that?
I've not heard of that. I know Chris Pratt is Schwarzenegger's son-in-law, correct?
Yeah, there's a power couple, Catherine Schwarzenegger and Chris Pratt. And Chris started, of course, the movie Jurassic World and Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's doing this Daniel fast. And this is a biblically based fast where you're eating only vegetables, fruits, and nuts. So it's not like you're not eating any food, but you're just taking out the meats. You're not eating any processed foods, additives, preservatives, no caffeine, none of this stuff for 21 days. And that's what the Daniel fast is all about.
Oh, my
gosh. This is inspired. Yeah, so I don't know I've never tried it. I don't know if I could pull it off, but this Daniel fast was actually inspired in the book of Daniel in the Bible, chapter 10 and 12, was when Daniel received a vision from God after he fasted like this for 21 days. And people are talking about this passage because of the end time prophecy and some of the things we're starting to see in the world today. You know, Daniel predicted there'd be an end time period of distress, and there'd be a rising up of a one-world government. This kind of stuff Christians know what I'm talking about. So that's the origins of this Daniel fast.
I got you. So, it kind of comes from the Bible. I'm looking over what he is eating or not eating, Chris Pratt. Only vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, and water. I would just think you'd feel like you are starving to death all the time trying to do this. I don't know.
Yeah, 21 days. But back to Chris Pratt. Arnold was actually interviewed on Jimmy Kimmel, and the first thing that Chris asked Arnold was, "Can we have a workout together? I want to know the inside scoop." Arnold's always doing on these interviews with Jimmy Kimmel, and he's joking around with Jimmy. He said one of the key decision-making factors of accepting Chris in the family is that he can work out in the gym.
Oh, no question. That would have been the first thing I'd probably asked Arnold. Hey, can we go work out? Not that you could keep up with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He does not train as heavy and stuff as he did back in the day. He's still a pretty big guy, but, he's had surgeries and heart surgeries and things. I don't think he can even lift as heavy as he once did. I think he does a lot more bicycling and machines now. Do you follow him as much as you used to?
No, I don't. I think, his strength has kind of tailed off quite a bit the last 10 years. I know even back in the day, I mean, Franco was always, his training partner was always a bit stronger. I think Arnold could only bench 450, which is still a pretty good bench, but I think Franco was doing something like 525 or 550. So, but Arnold I don't know, took it to another level. It was just by sheer force of his personality, and he got into movies, and he just kind of put bodybuilding back on the map, and back in the 70s.
What movie do you think he was in his best shape, bodybuilding wise?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a big Arnold fan. I haven't even watched all the films, but I think probably Conan. Conan was shot in '84, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
80. I think, honestly, he's probably in his best shape, in my opinion, Conan the Destroyer, the second one.
Okay.
Because the director...
Well, I'm gonna defer to you on that one.
Well, the director of the first one wanted him to look like a barbarian. He didn't want him to look like obvious bodybuilder on a strict diet. So he had a little more body fat on the first Conan film. But in the second one... Man, he is just ripped. He's just shredded. In the second one, with him and Wilt Chamberlain, and Andre the Giant is actually in the second one. He plays the big monster, and most people do not know that. They think the monster is just an effect. No, it's actually Andre the Giant. So, if somebody wants to catch up with Arnold, watch a couple of the old films. Those are some good ones for sure.
Yeah, those are good ones.
We were talking about fasting, and I'm a cancer survivor and have been through all of that. I understand fasting might have a connection to preventing cancer. Have you heard this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I've done a bit of research. Some researchers claim that there's actually a rise in health problems and cancers because many people no longer go hungry. It's kind of ironic, but periodic fasting actually helps to improve the cell recycling, and researchers claim that fasting can help protect against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It lowers your chance of heart disease and blood pressure. The list is on. There's ongoing studies, and my friend David Lyons, who's the president of MSFC, Multiple Sclerosis Fitness Challenge, and I was talking to him about this, and he says that fasting may be useful in treating MS. It's just case by case. You don't want to give somebody a fast or a diet without first consulting your doctor. And David's also working with Shanna Ferrigno, that's Lou's daughter, in a charity called Every Rep is a Step. And those are really good charities out there.
That's fantastic. I guess fasting, it's what I've been reading. It cleans out the cells in some way. How does that work?
Yeah, you know what? We live in this world full of toxins and preservatives and pesticides, and now with the virus. So detox is becoming more important. And I'm encouraging people to look up some different methods of fasting. You don't have to fast a full day. Like there's a intermittent fasting is one of the most popular types of fasting. Hugh Jackman, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Jimmy Kimmel, they're all doing it. There's different methods. The 16-8 method is kind of neat. It's a fasting technique where you eat your meals within an 8-hour window, and then you go into a 16-hour fast, and you repeat this for a number of days. And the second type of intermittent fasting is the 5-2. Jimmy Kimmel uses that one, and he says it helps keeps his weight down. 5-2, all the 5-2 means is that 5 days of the week you're going to have a regular diet, regular healthy diet, and then 2 days of the week, maybe a Monday and a Thursday, you're going to cut back to maybe 500 calories. And this kind of fasting, I think, is more achievable for the average working person who doesn't want to necessarily fast for a full 24 hours. So there's lots of ways of doing it, and it's very effective. The benefits outweigh the negatives, no question.
So he kind of eats a normal diet 5 days a week, or is it a low carb type thing 5 days a week, and then these 2 days he's only 500 calories?
Yeah, no, okay, that's a good point. You can't just eat whatever you want. You want to be on a healthy diet, 3 healthy meals a day. Doing the regular stuff we've talked about before. Sure. Avoiding the high fat foods. So you're eating a healthy diet, but then you're taking it even one step further, and 2 days of the week you're cutting down to 500 calories. So you wouldn't do this every single week of the year. Maybe you choose, you might do this for a 1 week cycle or a 2 week cycle or something like that. But it has, the benefits are great, and helps with the detox. It helps to a whole bunch of benefits, that everybody's talking about. And, we're seeing all the big names come out of Hollywood starting to do this stuff. And,
so it must
people
work.
are trying it out. I mean, it must work. I mean,
that's right.
Sometimes maybe they get it right in Hollywood. I don't know.
That's right. Hey, Shawn Maves, where do people follow you? Real quick, we're almost out of time.
Yeah, you can look me up. Just Google my name, Shawn Maves, ShawnMaves. YouTube, Faith and Fitness Magazine, Bodybuilding.com. And up here in Canada, Yes TV. I have to cross live a couple of times a year. I'll show up on a live TV show.
That's awesome. Scott Romine for Guatney Unplugged. Go have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you so much for being on the show again, Shawn. You're always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.